Listen, the first thing you need to understand is that pain is not your enemy. Everyone in life is going to face it. Some people think pain is something to avoid, something to hide from, something to be scared of. But that's exactly why most people never reach their potential. They run from the very thing that could make them unstoppable. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is the gym where you train your mind, your character, and your willpower. Every time you've been rejected, every time you've failed, every time life has thrown something at you that you didn't expect or didn't deserve, that moment was giving you an edge over the people who have never faced real hardship. Most people don't see it that way. They see trauma, loss, failure, rejection as a curse. They complain about it. They cry over it. They wallow in it. And while they're busy feeling sorry for themselves, life keeps moving. The world doesn't stop for your pain. It doesn't slow down. And that's the harsh truth. Suffering is inevitable, but how you respond to it is optional. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who seem untouchable. Almost always, their strength came from the struggle they endured, not the comfort they lived in. Comfort never builds power. Comfort never teaches resilience. Comfort never forces you to face the dark corners of yourself where fear, doubt, and weakness hide. Pain does that. Pain forces you to confront your limitations and overcome them. It strips away the excuses, the distractions, the illusions that most people rely on to feel safe, and it leaves you raw, exposed, and ready to grow. Let me tell you something most people won't say. Your suffering is your advantage. Every time life punched you in the gut, every time you felt worthless, every time someone doubted you or betrayed you, you were getting a lesson most people will never learn. You were learning how to endure, how to survive, how to rise when everything inside you tells you to quit. And that is exactly the mindset of a top G. People talk about winners like they were born lucky, like the world just handed them everything on a silver platter. But winners are forged in the fire of their own struggles. They've been tested in ways that the average person can't even imagine, and that's why they don't crumble under pressure, they thrive in it. You might be thinking, but my pain feels too heavy. I don't know if I can carry it. That's the point. The weight is exactly what makes you strong. Every sleepless night, every rejection, every betrayal, every moment of heartbreak is a weight on your shoulders, and every weight you carry teaches you discipline, resilience, and focus. You don't become strong by lifting 1-pound dumbbells. You become strong by lifting the weights that seem unbearable at first. But over time, you realize you're capable of handling far more than you ever imagined. And here's the kicker. The world doesn't give a damn about how soft you are. It rewards the strong, the resilient, the relentless. If you want to dominate in life, you can't afford to run from pain. You have to welcome it. You have to embrace it like a teacher, because it's the only one who will teach you what you truly need to know. It's the only one who will push you beyond your comfort zone, beyond your doubts, beyond the limits you've set for yourself. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain, but you're different. You're listening to this because you know there's more for you than just surviving. You want to thrive. You want to rise. And the truth is, every challenge you faced, every obstacle you've encountered, every wound you've carried, these are not signs that life is against you. They are the tools that life has given you to build a stronger mind, a stronger body, a stronger soul. You just have to use them. Pain exposes weakness, but it also creates strength. It teaches you patience, it teaches you endurance, it teaches you focus. It strips away everything that doesn't matter so you can see what truly does. And when you finally accept that pain is not the enemy, but the vehicle for growth, you stop being afraid. You stop seeing obstacles as threats and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop waiting for life to be easy and start creating the life you deserve, no matter what it takes. Every struggle you've endured is part of your blueprint. Every moment that hurt you is part of your training. And the stronger you get in those moments, the less anyone can touch you, the less anyone can shake you, and the more unstoppable you become. Pain is the key. Pain is the fuel. Pain builds strength. Adversity, that word alone, makes most people uncomfortable. Most people spend their lives running from it, hiding from it, pretending it doesn't exist. They think life should be smooth, comfortable, predictable. They think success comes without struggle. And that's why most people never reach the top. But here's the truth that the world rarely teaches you. Adversity doesn't break you, it defines you. It's the hammer that forges your character, the fire that reveals what you're truly made of. Every challenge you faced, every moment you felt helpless, every time life has knocked you down, those moments are not random. They are not punishments. They are the tests that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. When life gets hard, most people quit. They give up. They look for excuses. They blame others. And that's fine if you want to stay average. But if you want to become a top G, if you want to dominate your field, if you want people to look at you and know that you are unstoppable, you have to embrace adversity. You have to let it mold you, teach you, and ultimately elevate you. Think about it. The most respected people in the world, the ones who achieve greatness, have all faced hardship. They have all been tested. They have all been pushed to the edge. And what sets them apart is not that they avoided pain, but that they endured it and learned from it. Adversity exposes weaknesses you didn't even know existed. It shows you the cracks in your discipline, the gaps in your focus, the flaws in your mindset. And that's a good thing, because now you know what to fix. Now you know what to improve. Now you know what to strengthen. Most people fear failure. They fear rejection. They fear criticism. But these are the exact tools that build character. Every failure, every setback, every moment that challenges you is a chance to discover who you really are. Adversity forces you to confront yourself. It forces you to face your doubts, your fears, and your limitations. And when you do, when you stare into the darkness and refuse to back down, that's when your character is forged. That's when you stop being ordinary and start being exceptional. Let me break it down for you. Character is not something you are born with. It is not handed to you. It is earned. It is built through the choices you make under pressure. Adversity gives you those choices every single day. It tests your patience when life seems unfair. It tests your resolve when people doubt you. It tests your focus when everything around you is chaos. And how you respond to these tests determines who you become. The weak complain, the strong adapt, and the top G thrives. Adversity also teaches you perspective. When you've been through hardship, when you've faced real obstacles, you start to see life differently. The trivial problems that used to stress you out no longer matter. The petty distractions that once held you back lose their power. You begin to value strength, resilience, and discipline above all else. You stop waiting for life to be easy, and you start preparing for life to be hard. Because you know it will be, and you know that's where greatness is found. Most people want life to be convenient. They want doors to open without effort, paths to be smooth, and success to come without struggle. But adversity doesn't care about convenience. Adversity doesn't negotiate. It hits hard, it tests you relentlessly, and it leaves no room for excuses. And that's exactly why it shapes character. Because when you face it head on, when you refuse to be broken, when you take the hits and keep moving forward, you are no longer a person who reacts to life. You are a person who controls it. You are a person who commands respect, not because life was easy, but because life was brutal and you survived. Adversity also builds confidence in ways comfort never can. When you've been tested and you've overcome, you develop an unshakable belief in yourself. You know that no matter what happens, no matter how hard life tries to push you down, you can handle it. That confidence is magnetic. People can feel it. Opportunities start to find you because you no longer need validation. You no longer need approval. You are secure in your ability to endure, to overcome, and to dominate. Every top G has faced adversity. Every person who has risen above the ordinary has had to stare fear, pain, and failure straight in the eye and refuse to blink. And that is exactly what builds character. Character is the backbone of success, the foundation of power, and the silent force that pushes you forward when everything else seems impossible. Without adversity, you cannot know who you are. Without adversity, you cannot grow. Without adversity, you cannot reach the top. Adversity strips away the superficial, the weak, and the fake. It forces you to confront reality. And when you confront reality without flinching, when you embrace the struggle and let it shape you, that's when you become unstoppable. That's when you stop being an observer in life and start being the architect of your destiny. That's when the world starts to respect you, not for what you say, but for what you've endured and overcome. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Most people don't realize it. They spend their lives chasing ease, avoiding struggle, and craving safety. They think life should be smooth, predictable, and easy, and when it isn't, they complain, they give up, they retreat. But that is exactly why most people never achieve anything remarkable. The truth is simple: growth, power, and success don't come from comfort. They come from pushing past it, from embracing discomfort, and from building mental toughness so strong that nothing in the world can shake you. Let me make it clear: mental toughness is not something you are born with. It is not handed to you. It is not a gift. It is a skill. And like any skill, it is forged through challenges, resistance, and repeated exposure to discomfort. Every time life gets difficult, every time you are tested, you have a choice. You can retreat into your comfort zone and pretend nothing happened. Or you can face the challenge head on, push through the pain, and emerge stronger on the other side. That choice is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Think about the people you admire the most: the elite performers, the top entrepreneurs, the world-class athletes. Do you think they got there because life was easy for them? Do you think they were pampered and protected from every challenge? Absolutely not. They faced situations that would crush most people. They endured hardships, obstacles, and failures that would make the average person quit. And every single time they faced discomfort, they didn't back down, they leaned into it. They trained their minds to be relentless, to be unbreakable, to see struggle as an opportunity rather than a threat. That is mental toughness. That is what separates winners from losers. Here's the secret most people never understand. Comfort is a trap. It lulls you into mediocrity. It makes you soft. When you live your life avoiding challenges, avoiding pain, avoiding responsibility, you may feel safe, but you are slowly eroding your potential. You are turning yourself into a person who can only survive, not thrive. You are turning yourself into someone who will crumble at the first real obstacle, someone who will let fear and weakness dictate the direction of your life. Comfort is seductive, but it kills ambition, it kills drive, and it kills the possibility of becoming a top G. Mental toughness, on the other hand, is built when you refuse to be controlled by comfort. It is built when you make the conscious decision to embrace difficulty, to endure hardship, and to push through when every part of you wants to quit. Every early morning when you force yourself to train while others sleep, every late night when you grind while others rest, every situation where you push beyond what is easy. You are strengthening your mind. You are conditioning yourself to handle pressure, pain, and uncertainty without faltering. The world will never wait for you to be comfortable. It doesn't care if you feel ready or if the timing is perfect. Life will always challenge you, push you, and demand more than you think you have to give. And if you are not mentally tough, you will crumble, you will be overwhelmed, you will fail. But if you train your mind, if you develop resilience, focus, and discipline, you can face anything with confidence. You can turn obstacles into opportunities, pressure into fuel, and adversity into a stepping stone toward greatness. Most people are afraid of discomfort because they equate it with suffering. But discomfort is not suffering, it is growth in disguise. Every moment that challenges you is shaping your mind, building your strength, and preparing you for a level of success that comfort could never provide. The more you expose yourself to difficulty, the more you train your mind to endure, adapt, and overcome. The more you embrace discomfort, the more unstoppable you become. Mental toughness also gives you freedom. It frees you from fear, from hesitation, from the opinions of others, and from the need for validation. When your mind is strong, you no longer need external reassurance. You no longer panic when things go wrong. You no longer get thrown off course by setbacks. You become unshakable, unmovable, and unstoppable. And that is the mindset of a top G. The key to building mental toughness is consistency. It's not about one heroic act or one moment of courage. It's about making the decision every day to step outside your comfort zone, to endure the hard, and to push beyond what is easy. It's about training your mind like a warrior trains his body, every single day, without excuses, without hesitation, without compromise. When you embrace discomfort and develop mental toughness, the world becomes your playground. Challenges that once terrified you now excite you. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now motivate you. Life no longer controls you, you control life. And that is the difference between the people who settle for mediocrity and the people who rise to the top. That is the difference between ordinary men and the top G's who dominate every arena they enter. Trauma, that word alone brings up images of pain, loss, betrayal, and heartbreak. Most people see it as a wound, something to hide, something to apologize for, something to be ashamed of. But here's the truth that most people will never tell you: trauma is not a weakness. Trauma is power. Trauma is energy. And if you learn how to use it, it can become the fuel that drives you to levels of success and dominance that most people only dream about. Think about it. Every time you've been knocked down, every time someone has doubted you, every time life has crushed you in a way that felt unfair, that moment was giving you something that most people never get. It was giving you raw, unfiltered energy. Anger, frustration, resentment, fear, they are all forms of energy. And energy, when properly directed, becomes unstoppable momentum. Trauma isn't just pain, it's a resource. It's the fire that, when harnessed, powers ambition, focus, and resilience. Most people waste their trauma. They let it eat at them. They let it define them. They let it keep them small, weak, and passive. And that's why they stay average. But the top G doesn't let life's blows break him, he converts them. Every scar, every betrayal, every moment of humiliation or despair is transformed into fuel. It becomes a reason to work harder, fight smarter, and dominate relentlessly. You can let trauma destroy you, or you can let it drive you. The choice is yours, but the difference between ordinary people and top Gs is clear. Here's the thing: most people don't understand trauma gives you an advantage. People who've never suffered, who've never felt real loss or pain, have no idea what it takes to survive, endure, and rise. They've never been tested. They've never been pushed to the edge. And so they crumble the moment life gets hard. But those who have faced trauma, they've seen the worst. They've been to hell and back. And when they step into the arena of life, nothing shakes them, nothing scares them, nothing stops them. That's the power of using trauma as fuel. Let me break it down for you. Trauma creates a fire inside you that comfort never can. It creates a hunger that luxury and ease could never inspire. It creates a focus that distraction cannot touch. When life has hurt you, when people have doubted you, when circumstances have tried to bury you, it leaves a mark. Most people try to hide that mark, but the top G turns it into armor. The pain you've felt becomes your weapon. Every sleepless night, every rejection, every betrayal becomes a reason to dominate, to win, to prove yourself to no one but yourself. And it's not just about using trauma as motivation, it's about using it strategically. Trauma teaches you lessons if you pay attention. It teaches you who can't be trusted, what environments will hold you back, and which people will try to exploit your weaknesses. It teaches you discipline, vigilance, and mental toughness. Every hardship is a lesson in disguise, and the smarter you are, the more you extract from it. You take the anger, the frustration, and the fear, and you convert it into precise, unstoppable energy. You focus it on your goals, your vision, and your path forward. Most people react to trauma with fear or bitterness. They let it consume them. They let it dictate their lives, and that's exactly why they fail. But the top G does the opposite. He takes the energy trauma gives him and he channels it. He lets it sharpen his mind, strengthen his will, and fuel his ambition. Trauma becomes his engine, propelling him past obstacles that would stop anyone else. And the more trauma you've experienced, the more fuel you have if you know how to use it. Here's another truth: trauma also gives you clarity. When life has hurt you deeply, you start to see people, situations, and opportunities differently. You no longer waste energy on distractions. You no longer settle for mediocrity. Trauma teaches you what matters, what doesn't, and what you will no longer tolerate. It focuses your mind on action, dominance, and results. And when you combine that clarity with relentless energy, you become unstoppable. Using trauma as fuel is about refusing to be a victim. It's about transforming the narrative. It's about taking every setback, every betrayal, every loss, and using it to build a life that proves the world wrong. It's about converting pain into power, anger into action, fear into focus, and weakness into strength. Trauma is not a curse, it is a gift in disguise. It is a weapon that, when wielded correctly, makes you a top G, someone who doesn't just survive life, but dominates it in every way. Every top G you've ever heard of has harnessed their trauma. They have taken the worst moments of their lives and turned them into the driving force behind their success. They don't hide from it, they don't run from it, and they certainly don't apologize for it. They embrace it. They extract every ounce of energy from it. They let it fuel their ambition, sharpen their focus, and build the unstoppable mindset that sets them apart from the rest. Success is not for the soft. Success is not for the people who avoid discomfort, who shy away from challenges, or who pretend life is easy. The truth is simple: to reach the top, to dominate, to become a top G, you need a scared mind. You need the kind of mind that has been tested, broken, and rebuilt. You need a mind that has faced life's worst and refused to bow down. Most people are afraid of scars. They see them as weaknesses, reminders of pain, or failures to hide. But every scar is a badge of honor. Every scar is proof that you survived, adapted, and learned. And those scars are what separate the winners from the rest. Think about it. The most successful people in history, the most dominant figures in the world, all carry scars. They've been through betrayals, failures, losses, and hardships that would crush anyone else. And yet, they didn't just survive, they thrived. Those scars are not just marks on the mind, they are tools. They are evidence that you can endure more than anyone else, that you can rise when everything seems lost, that you can keep moving forward when most people would give up. A scared mind is a mind that has faced reality, not fantasy. It has faced pain, loss, and adversity head on, and it has emerged stronger, sharper, and more relentless than ever before. Most people think success comes from talent, luck, or opportunity. And while those things matter, they matter far less than most people believe. The real differentiator is the mind, the resilience, the toughness, and the experience that only comes from hardship. Talent can be squandered, opportunity can be missed. But a scared mind, a mind that has endured struggle and come back stronger, is unstoppable. It knows that failure is temporary, that pain is a teacher, and that every setback is an opportunity to rise. That kind of mind doesn't just survive, it dominates. Here's another truth: the world will test you relentlessly. Life will throw challenges at you that seem impossible. People will doubt you, betray you, and underestimate you. And the question is not whether these things happen, it's how you respond. Do you crumble under the pressure like so many others, or do you let the pain, the disappointment, and the struggle harden you, strengthen you, and prepare you for the next level? That's what a scarred mind does. It converts suffering into strategy, failure into experience, and adversity into advantage. Every scar you carry is a lesson in disguise. Every moment of pain, every betrayal, every loss, every sleepless night teaches you something that cannot be learned in comfort. Comfort creates weakness. Comfort makes people soft. Comfort leaves you vulnerable when life inevitably gets tough. But the scars, the marks left by struggle, give you an edge. They make you stronger, faster, sharper, and more prepared than anyone who has lived a life untouched by hardship. That's why success requires a scared mind. Because those without scars are untested. Those without scars are unprepared. Those without scars crumble at the first real obstacle. And let me be clear, scars are not just about suffering, they are about growth. They are about transformation. Every time life hurts you, every time you fail, every time you are knocked down, you have a choice. You can let the experience destroy you, or you can let it teach you, strengthen you, and prepare you for greatness. Scarred minds are made in that moment of choice. Scarred minds are made when pain becomes the foundation for power, when fear becomes fuel for courage, and when failure becomes the blueprint for success. Most people spend their lives avoiding pain and pretending everything is fine. They seek comfort, security, and ease, but ease never produces greatness. Ease never produces dominance. Ease never produces a mind capable of taking control in a world that is ruthless, unpredictable, and brutal. Scarred minds are different. They are adaptable, unshackable, and relentless. They have seen the worst, endured it, and come out stronger. They have learned to anticipate challenges, to overcome obstacles, and to thrive in chaos. That is why success cannot exist without scars. Every top G you've ever seen has scars you can't see. Every dominant figure, every leader, every person at the top of their game has been tested in ways you can't imagine. They have failed, lost, and suffered, and that suffering built them. They didn't hide from it. They didn't run from it. They embraced it, learned from it, and let it harden their resolve. That is the power of a scared mind. It doesn't break under pressure. It doesn't panic under attack. It doesn't give up when life gets hard. It thrives, dominates, and wins because it has been forged in the fire of adversity. A scarred mind is not a weak mind. It is not a fragile mind. It is a mind that has endured, adapted, and evolved. It is a mind that understands life's brutality and uses it to its advantage. It is a mind that can handle rejection, betrayal, failure, and loss without hesitation. It is the mind of someone who refuses to be ordinary, someone who refuses to be average, someone who refuses to be defeated. That is the mind that success demands, and that is why anyone who wants to reach the top must be willing to endure, to struggle, to get scarred, and to emerge stronger on the other side. At some point in life, every man faces a moment that defines him. That moment doesn't come when things are easy, it comes when everything collapses. When life hits you hard, when people betray you, when nothing seems to go your way, that's when you discover who you really are. And in that moment, you only have two choices. You can be the victim, or you can be the top G. You can sit down and cry about what happened to you, or you can stand up and use it to fuel your rise. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It only respects results. And the truth is brutal, but simple life will hand you pain, but you decide whether that pain destroys you or transforms you. Victims live their lives replaying what went wrong. They talk about how unfair life is, how others had it easier, how everything was stacked against them. They cling to that story because it gives them an identity. It makes them feel safe. It lets them off the hook. They convince themselves that the world owes them something. And when the world doesn't deliver, they sink deeper into blame and bitterness. But here's the problem: victimhood is a cage. It traps you in weakness. It keeps you from ever realizing the power you already have. Top GS, on the other hand, look at the same pain and see a challenge. They see an opportunity. They take control. They know that nobody is coming to save them, that the only person who can change their life is the one they see in the mirror. They don't waste energy crying about what they lost. They use that energy to build something greater. Every setback becomes a weapon. Every rejection becomes a lesson. Every defeat becomes the foundation for a comeback. That's what separates the weak from the powerful: the decision to stop being a victim and start being a conqueror. You have to understand that every excuse you make keeps you small. Every time you say, "Well, it's not my fault," you surrender control. And the moment you give up control, you lose the ability to change anything. Victims love to talk about circumstances. Top GS focus on results. Victims focus on the problem. Top GS focus on the solution. Victims complain. Top GS adapt. It's all a mindset. The difference between a man who stays stuck and a man who dominates is simply the story he tells himself about his pain. You will always have reasons to give up. You will always have people who doubt you, who betray you, who try to pull you down. Life will give you 1,000 excuses to quit, but it will also give you one powerful reason to rise. The chance to prove that you are built different. The chance to prove that you can take every ounce of pain and turn it into progress. Every time you fall and get back up, you are rewriting your story. You are proving to yourself that you are no longer controlled by the past, you are fueled by it. Being a victim feels comfortable at first because it demands nothing from you. You get sympathy, you get attention. People pat you on the back and tell you it's okay. But that comfort is poison. It weakens you. It turns you into someone who survives instead of someone who conquers. To be a top G, you must abandon the comfort of pity and embrace the discomfort of growth. You must look at your pain and say, "Good, now I know what it feels like to lose. Now I know what it feels like to struggle. And because I know that, I will never stop until I win." Top Gs are not superhuman. They feel pain, fear, and doubt just like everyone else. The difference is they don't let those emotions control them. They use them. They understand that emotions are signals, not prisons. Fear tells them what they need to face. Pain tells them where they need to grow. Failure tells them where they need to improve. Victims run from those feelings. Top Gs run toward them. And every time they do, they grow stronger, sharper, and more focused. It's all about responsibility. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for luck. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions that will never come. You act. You decide that everything that happens, good or bad, is fuel. That mindset turns ordinary people into warriors. It transforms victims into leaders. It makes you unstoppable because nothing can shake a man who takes full ownership of his life. Look around you. The world is full of victims, people who gave up on themselves because it was easier to complain than to fight. But it's also full of opportunities for those who refuse to quit. Life will always be hard. It will always test you. It will always challenge you. But those challenges are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to awaken you. They are meant to reveal the top G that lives inside you. Every time you choose strength over self-pity, every time you choose action over excuses, you are building that version of yourself. The choice is always yours. Nobody can make it for you. You can stay stuck in the past, letting your trauma define you, or you can rise, letting it refine you. You can let pain turn you into a victim, or you can let it turn you into a weapon. You can keep living the same story, or you can write a new one. But make no mistake, your life will always be the result of the choices you make, not the excuses you tell. So now you understand trauma isn't your curse, it's your crown. Every scar you've got, every sleepless night, every betrayal, every heartbreak, every time you were left alone in the dark, that was life sharpening your blade. You were being built. You were being tested. You were being forged in a fire that most people would never survive. That's why you can't compare yourself to the average man. You've walked through pain they couldn't even imagine. You've seen things that would break them in a second. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still standing, still fighting. The world will never hand you peace. It will never hand you success. It will never care how hard it's been for you. And that's exactly why you need to stop expecting it to. The power has always been yours. You just needed the pain to wake you up. That trauma you hate, that moment that almost destroyed you, that was the spark that lit the fire inside your soul. And that fire, if you let it, will make you unstoppable. The truth is, the world respects strength. It bows to those who refuse to break. And strength doesn't come from comfort, it comes from chaos. It comes from pain. It comes from trauma. Every top G was once a broken man who decided he would never be broken again. That's the transformation. That's the moment everything changes, when you stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. Life isn't supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be a battlefield. You either rise above it or get crushed by it. You either take control or get controlled. You either use your trauma as fuel or you drown in it. And the men who make it to the top, they're not the lucky ones. They're the ones who turned their misery into motivation, their scars into symbols of victory. So stop running from the past. Stop hating the pain. Look it dead in the eye and thank it, because it made you. It carved you into something unbreakable. Every challenge, every loss, every wound, they weren't sent to ruin you, they were sent to reveal you. They were proof that you were built for more, proof that you were meant to rise, proof that you're not ordinary, you're forged. The man who learns to master his trauma becomes the man no one can defeat. Because when you've already been through hell, nothing else can scare you. You've already faced the darkness and survived it. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you a top G. Your trauma was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your transformation. The beginning of the man you were always meant to become. You were never broken, you were being built. You were never cursed, you were being chosen. You were never a victim, you were being tested. And now it's your turn to prove that nothing and no one can stop you.